Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Uh-huh. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
First world, come in and take a seat. Pay us no attention, it's all conspiracy. We have satire and parody, some funny, some perverse. If none of it's offensive to you, you'd be the first.
Fairview's coffee has mysteriously gone missing. Mayhem ensues when strange, coffee-craving zombies plague the city. Detective Mickey Potatoes, an overworked public servant, uncovers why ordinary citizens are losing their minds and how to stop the coffee apocalypse. But it involves the mafia. And when you're dealing with mafia crime families, nothing is ever easy. The mafia controls everything in the city, including the police, including him. If he breaks the mafia, they will break him. So, the city is without coffee. The city is burning before his very eyes, but he's powerless. Detective Potatoes has the power to stop the coffee apocalypse, but if he does, he could lose everything.
welcome to the chaos, as my stream is definitely glitching on this laptop, but I'll see what I can function. And how's everybody today? And hello, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to run those ads, and it's like glitching like 10 times before it reads each button. I'm backstage laughing my ass off. How's that for a start? Howdy, hey, right? So welcome to the mess, the chaos. But hey, I was going to be back in the art corner with everything set up, and then I had to go take care of things for family, so I barely got back in time to stream. So it is what it is, folks. I am making earrings, and Rich is drawing, and I don't know what he's going to draw yet. He's thinking right now, which might explain the smoky smell.
No, there's no smoky smell. I'm watching porn.
Okay, so the smoky smell is the friction. Got it.
No, it's not smoky friction. No, I don't beat off that stuff. And I'm using the wrong hand. See, my hands are free. Hands free. Hands free.
In case you can't tell, we don't well behave here.
We have no filter. No filter.
Fair enough. Facebook there. Is that you?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's not giving me a name, so all I can say is fair enough. Let's see what Rich does, as we can halfway see his conversations he's doing.
I'm not having any conversations. I'm looking for images of a shark skull.
Inspiration, huh?
Yeah, this is inspiration. Yeah, look, see, shark skulls.
But it's been one of those weeks, I guess. Crazy, insane, busy.
Okay, how busy? Well, define busy.
Well, you know, standard for me is my hormone therapy, then working on projects for the family, for the events, for my things, running errands, dealing with mom, helping care for things in here, constantly shoveling and dealing with blizzards, constantly having to drive into the cities and deal with stuff for my family.
Oh my God.
Running from basically early a.m. till about 3 a.m. most days.
Yeah.
While still trying to make a bunch of stuff that's supposed to go for giveaways for family events. So basically right now is about the most relaxed in about a week. Yay! So now I'm going to make earrings because I am not set up to do anything else. And next week I will actually probably be doing some dream catchers on stream.
Dream catchers?
Yeah, I'm working on medicine wheel dream catchers for stuff for Dad's memory.
Okay.
So those are, it's my style, which is like half traditional dream catcher, half steampunk and seed bead wire wrapped. So it's kind
whatever
of
that means.
It's easier to show than explain. I'll put it that way.
All right, I take your word for it.
But
I am drawing the shark skull. But what? Say it.
I was going to say, but it is a fun thing to do because you get to sit and just slowly weave the beads around the hoop, and it kind of is a more relaxed project they're trying to hurry and pump a bunch of little things out.
Mm-hmm.
Pump it good. Pump it good. I mean,
that's the sexiest thing I've ever heard you say. Pump it, yeah, pump it. Oh my God, yeah, deep in the crevice of my heart. Yes, more. And
sure, heart is the right phrase.
Poetry is dead, along with human rights and pizza. Yeah. Cool.
Rich is a very, very strange man, by the way.
Yes, strange man, strange. I am super strange and sexy. I am the sexy strange man. Sexy strange man. I am the sexy strange man. I do really weird stuff to your face. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lordy Lord. So is this what it's going to be?
Lordy Lord. He desperate. Do what he say. Do funny thing.
God, I love Mel Brooks movies. I mean, I fucking love Mel Brooks stuff.
I do too.
Although one of my favorite movies is When Less People Know.
What?
High Anxiety.
I had a feeling you were to fucking say that. You know why?
Why?
Because I'm Batman, that's why. I know everything that people don't know. Because I'm told to figure it out. It's my destiny to stop crying and figure everything out before it happens. Do you know why?
Because it beats masturbating?
Because I'm Batman. Because I'm Batman.
He's very loud, isn't he, people?
I am now, so it's a big deal. What do you care? Do you care? No. Stop talking. Come to stop complaining. You know, because it's unbecoming of a woman.
Talking is not the same as complaining.
Well, they're not supposed to have opinions. You know.
Boy, are you on?
Here we go. Oh, here we go. We're gonna start. I'm starting. I don't care.
Boy,
you know, I mean, every single man should own at least one of them. You know what I mean? Just like gotta hold on to them and don't let them go out ever because they're supposed to stay home and clean. You know, I mean, come on, man. This is obvious. I figured you knew this already. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna die.
Never go out ever. I'm a nature photographer. I barely stay home.
I don't blame you. I don't blame. Well, that means you're a good woman. You obey the husband, the captain of the family, because you know that's just your place, and you make sure that
no matter what I say, he's going to make it into some twisted sexist joke. Watch this.
Oh my God! Wow, what the hell's the matter with me?
I've got a list if you're interested.
Oh Jesus Christ! The shit that I say. I am so palatably horrible and just terrible man. You horrid man. How could you say that, Mr. Man? I mean, how dare you?
You got to really sound whiny and self-righteous and entitled, though, to really do the how dare you right.
Oh, please. How dare you?
Sound like a little bitch who needs to learn how to shut her mouth.
Oh,
and because she's old enough now, I can make this joke, stick something in it.
Oh, come on. Enough. She's a child. She's still a child.
No, she's not. She's in her 20s.
Jesus, no, she's not.
20 years.
She's maybe 19 if she's lucky.
That's not a child. That's an adult.
And how old are you?
Old enough.
Old enough.
Doesn't matter. She's over 18. I can make those cracks at her expense.
Oh my God. Let's see. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to go with this.
I'm a horrible, horrible woman. So what?
Yeah. Well, that's not my problem. It's your problem. You know what's horrible? Really horrible and not very pretty.
The jokes you make?
That's one. But you know what else is horrible? Christie Shinn.
You are such an ass. You are such a fucking ass.
Christie Shinn is terrible. She's a terrible woman. She won't go out with me.
I like
that. Makes it. She won't go out with me. Why?
Because you're you?
Why?
I think Rich is having an aneurysm here. Anyway, I knew where the buttons were. I'd be playing the Rich.
Oh boy, I'm having too much fun. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
I'm having way too much fucking fun. I think it's the best thing ever. Oh my God. Oh man, I had to take a dump like you would not believe.
I don't care.
Oh my
God. Do you want me to go into details about what I was dealing with today?
I don't know. What were you dealing with today?
Well, it's caused by hormone therapy and it's a female issue. Want to go into details?
Yes, I like female issues because they're not men issues.
Well, you know, mental issues have to start with men, so I mean.
That is true. That is very true. We men are mental. We are mentally unfit for humankind. But we are handsome, though. We serve one purpose, to breed women and make them our concubines and slaves. That's it. Yes, and they are forced to make us coffee and other chocolatey treats. I love you.
What the
I
fuck
love
is
you.
wrong with you?
I love you. I love you. I love you. I'll be loving you forever. Just as long as you want me to be. I used to like New Kids on the Block.
I didn't even know who the fuck that was.
Oh, New Kids on the Block, man. You don't remember New Kids on the Block?
No, I remember them. I never listened to them. Also, because of your stupid comments, I'm going to put this up. I figured out where it is.
Glad you were able to read a com piece or something.
Read? Are you fucking kidding me? This is a tiny ass laptop and it's not that close to me. I was looking for something that looked like the right shape and images.
I thought you were leaning in to get a closer look at me because I'm so beautiful.
No, I was leaning in to reach the buttons.
No. How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you? Want me to see?
Hey, Carol. I have to point out this comment.
What did she say? She said something smart. That's new. I mean, she's a woman.
She said, "Kick
so
rich."
I can't really expect it. I can't expect it because she is a woman. So it's like,
I mean, you make a valid point with the kick rich comment, but at this point, I don't have anyone else on the screen. So just saying. Sorry, too late. I always say hi to everybody. She said not to tell you she's here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sweetie. I outed you. I'm sorry. That's my fault. I'm a bad girl. Bad girl. Bad girl. I need spanked.
Well, who did you out?
What?
Who did you out?
Carol, apparently. She said not to tell you she was here.
Wow. I wasn't able to tell when you said Carol about 8 or 9 freaking times.
Why do I think he makes the duh noise a lot at himself?
I do. Duh.
Well, I mean, Carol, if you were in here, maybe we wouldn't need him on here. Just kidding.
That hurts my feelings, Eagle Rider. You
have
hussy.
Feelings?
You hussy.
Wait. No. Those words don't work on me. Hussies, sluts, gangs, all that stuff. They have to sleep around to earn those words. I don't do that.
I know you don't. I know. I had to use the word hussy because it's a funny ass word to say. Hussy.
Are you on
Not
drugs?
To you. No, I am not yet on drugs.
Yet. Okay, there's a key word.
Yes, that's right, woman. Where's my sandwich? I've been waiting for at least 2 minutes.
You're fucking.
I'm gonna die.
You're across the waters from me. What makes you think you're getting a sandwich?
I am going to die. Well, I can say this because I am across the pond. So it's like, ha, Eagle Rider can't get me. Ha 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 ha.
It's like I do not have to worry about her tomahawk or her guns. Right?
I know, right? It's like, ha 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 ha.
I say the shit here, and by the time she gets to me, I'll hide in another place, right?
I'll hide in another place. I'll hide behind Stonehenge where no one will be able to find me. Jesus Christ. Did I just give away my position? I probably
Yes.
did.
Also,
That's just
I have
so
to
terrible
say,
of me to do.
At least you could go hide behind Stonehenge as opposed to what was near where I lived for a while as a kid, which was the redneck equal of that.
The redneck equal of that?
Oh, yeah.
There's a redneck version of everything. It's like the Bizarro world.
So this was built. Oh my God. I actually have to tell this little bit of story here in context. This is true. I even posted a short of recording it. There's somebody, old redneck guy, as we always call him, who literally built a mock-up of Stonehenge with old rusted out junker cars and called it Carhenge.
Wow. Guess what? Yeah. Yay. Oh my God, that's horrible. Who would ever do such a terrible thing? Where's Carol?
Rednecks.
Oh God, beer can hench.
That would
I'm
be
too
funny too,
high
actually.
Carol's too high for a panel. Why isn't she? Should be on a panel then. She should
Why?
definitely be on. A panel.
When people are high, they're really funny on panels.
I know you should.
It makes it more entertaining for everyone else.
That's right. You're not as boring as you usually are, Carol.
Oh God, I did not call her boring, you asshole.
She's not that boring. She has boobs. So it's
Wow, Rick. You're an ass today, aren't you?
Oh my God, I'm terrible.
Is he seeking for a disagreement from me about him being terrible? Because if he is, he's in for a long wait.
I really, truly want you to tell me how horrible I am. I'm really enjoying it.
You're horrible, but it's making me laugh. So go ahead, be horrible. And I'll just sit here and I'll make fancy little stone and dragon charm earrings.
No one cares. I mean, that's great.
It's my fucking channel. Shut up, you asshole.
Oh my God.
Fuck's sakes. I'm making dragon earrings and I'll auction them off later.
Okay, cool.
Carol.
Oh, is he talking?
Well, I guess if that's what you want to call it. Hello, Real. Welcome.
Hi, Real. How you doing?
Welcome to the nut house, baby.
Yeah, welcome to the jungle. You've been funny games. We got all the animals.
And Rich is fucking them. I mean.
Yes, all of them in the booty.
Okay.
Hashtag Hershey Highway. Hershey Highway.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Hershey Highway. I said that once. I was going to Hershey Park, Pennsylvania when I was a kid. Hey, guess what? We're going. What? We're going on the Hershey Highway. Could not stop laughing the whole way through. And the teacher didn't hear us. He was like, who said that? And I was like, I didn't say it. He was like, yes, you did.
Just to reiterate, people.
Oh my God.
I love you all.
No, you don't. You don't love anyone but yourself, you narcissist.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of inverted. But anyway, just to reiterate to people what I think of this right now. Welcome to the craziness.
To the crazy lane.
No,
Crazy
Carol,
lane.
I have no idea what that is. So why don't you enlighten me on that movie?
This is the crazy land where Christie Shinn is attractive. Oh my
You
God.
fucking narc-ass bitch.
Oh God. Oh man, what a horrible man I am. I love you, Christie Shinn.
And you're not going to manage to nag her on today.
I'm not trying to nag her on today. I'm trying to avoid her. She smells. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to die. I know. I just know. Here we go. Who are you messaging?
I'm putting something in private for a reason. Do you know what subtlety is?
You know what subtlety is? Your face. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm not even reading that. No, wait. Do not say that word out loud because that's when they flag on monetized channels. The first part of the zombies that she said there.
Okay.
That reference to that part of history for some reason gets channels flagged.
Private chat. Take a look at your private chat.
Yeah. It should be fine. Just gonna be a bit. But yeah, it's crazy. So here's the thing. I'm very rarely actually watch anything that's classified in the range of horror. Usually if I do, it's to mock it senselessly and I end up pausing it for like 6 hours so I can make fun of every character and slow-mo when they get killed and shit like that.
Yep.
I'm a horrible person.
Yes, you are. You're terrible. You smell bad.
I don't smell bad. I am way too
Yes, you do.
germophobic for that. I am way too germophobic for that.
Oh, great. So you smell like Febreze? Lovely.
No, fuck. I don't use chemicals like that.
You use natural Febreze. The essence of the rainbow. The flowers
wash
of
a
the
lot.
mountain.
I just wash a lot.
You wash with the flowers of the mountain. And the great
No, but those are
spirit
probably
animals
shoved up your
never
ass all the
fear.
time.
They are. That's why I talk so flowery. Who's making comments now? The smart people or just like the regular ones? And they equip these sharks with firepower, jet propulsion, and missiles. And okay, makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds dumb, but one of those that I could possibly sit and mock for hours.
Mm-hmm. I can mock a lot of people's faces because they're hideous and disgusting looking. Not as beautiful as I am. Because they will be ugly and terrible. Yes, that's right. I said I did.
He thinks he's beautiful. Everybody, give a round of applause for Delusions. Fuck, I can't even speak today. Fuck it.
See, I made fun of your face, and I'm going to make fun of your face all the time. La 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 la.
So.
I'm overtired. I am super overtired. I am
excited.
Absolutely overstimulated at this point.
But I actually have a little story on how much I like mocking deaths in these kinds of horror movies. I have an aunt who, she's as bad as her mother was. She always watching 1,000,001 horror movies anytime you're around her. And me and my husband were at her house a few years ago, and they're watching some apocalyptic movie in the background, and they're trying to watch it, and I'm sitting there going, "Come on! What the fuck? Why won't they die already? What kind of apocalypse is this? Nowhere near enough body count." And she's sitting there looking at me like, the fuck? And me and my husband are sitting there going, "Come on, die. Ah, come on. That was a perfect opportunity to kill him."
No way.
And I loved her faces when we're doing this because she's looking at us like, what the hell?
I don't know what anyone's issue is, but I think they smell bad. Darn it.
I do have a little propensity for hate watching bad, like CD list movies, just so I can mock them senselessly. It's really fucking fun.
I love movies like that because they are dumb.
The same way that I watch a crappy horror movie that makes no sense and has horrible special effects is the same way I'll watch some of these stupid Christmas movies and specials just to mock every person in it for the entire time.
I love those Christmas. You know what I love? The Lifetime Christmas movies. You know why?
Because they're so mockable.
They are far and away the most inconceivably impossible coincidence, falling in love. Absolutely.
Lifetime and Hallmark are great for the ridiculous, stupid stuff like that. And they all have the same 4 plots. Either it's Santa in disguise, it's some yuppie bimbo dating some businessman who's a douchebag who cheats on him or runs off with another guy. It's they're all the same basic 4 plots, every fucking one of them.
Tell me that's not good, though. Tell me that's not good.
It's great if you don't want to have to pay a lot of attention. You just want to mock it senselessly.
That's what the purpose of those things are, honey. That's what those things are. They're not there for you to think. I know that because I never usually think. So I'm completely at ease whenever I see a movie like this. Because that means I don't have to
I watch those stuff kind of the same way I watch like cheerleader movies and some of the high school movies, just because I like watching dumb bimbos torment each other.
Yes,
and mocking how they talk.
I love those. I hope like the high school or well, not the high school because now I'm too old for that. But you know, like the college cheerleaders, they show boobs. You know, because boobs, titties,
well, I mean, go back to when I was going into Job Corps and stuff was the era when they were doing the stuff like the original Bring It Ons and stuff like that. And Mean Girls came out when I was in early college and stuff. And I loved watching that stuff and making fun of it.
I make fun of it too. I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
It's this weird thing where there is something to the whole hate watching thing, but not hate watching something you really don't enjoy even making fun of, but just watching something just to hate watch it and bitch about it and complain about that I don't get. But hate watching something because you take fun in making fun of it, that's a whole different game.
Yeah, it is. It is a completely different game. Oh my God, I'm tired.
Oh, at times they piss me off too, honey, but they're just so worth watching them just to make fun of. It's like, oh, look, the bimbo's going to run off on her boyfriend who didn't do anything to her because he's too much of a businessman, and that makes him an asshole. Oh, look, she's running off on him with the first sleazeball who said hi to her. She doesn't even know who this guy is or what he is. Yeah, let's end up in his basement, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's at least what I think. I agree, because some of those movies are just so effing dumb. You can't really get past how dumb they can be. My God.
A word of advice to the idiots who make those movies. Love at first sight is bullshit and usually leads to people getting in trouble.
That's not true.
Lust at first sight is real. True love takes time to learn who they are.
I've had love at first sight. I don't want to hear your shit. I've had love.
No, I don't care. That's lust. You can't love a person.
That's not lust. It's love. It's love. What's wrong with you? You have no romantic soul, woman.
That's not true.
That is true, because you don't believe in love at first sight. How do you not believe in love at first sight?
Because
how
all
is
that
that
is
possible?
Superficial.
It is not.
All that is the body.
It is not. No, it is not. It is not just the boobs and the vagina and the butt or the legs. No, it's definitely not that. Not at all.
He's not helping himself here, is he, folks?
Honey, Miss Woman, hear me out. And do not interrupt me again until I tell you to. Oh, jeez.
My
Before I tell you to
bitch.
speak.
He can't do it. He can't talk to me that way with a straight face. You guys notice
I
this?
can't. I don't ever talk like that. I do that strictly for shock value and for laughter, or like being the straight man whenever a woman hears it and it's like, holy fuck, did he just say that? I'm like, yes, I have.
No, I just make fun of you back when you do it. You've noticed that, right?
No, I love it. Yes, and that's why I love it, because it's funny as fuck.
I've still got the screenshots on my computer of my friends. This whole panel of guys in the middle of the night doing an Insomniac stream. So there's 9 guys and me, and they're all around me off camera using sandwich avatars while they changed my name to say Token Sandwich Wench.
Token Sandwich Wench? That's it. That's the best thing I've ever heard. I'm using that. I'm fucking using that. TSW, Token.
And if you actually notice what I have as my secondary name now, it's Sandwich Wench.
Sandwich Wench, I love it. That's funny as hell.
I need to find a new co-host for it, because I can't do it without a co-host because there's too many things to pull and do while I'm making it. I actually had a show I did a few episodes of before my friend lost his father, who was helping host it, where it was literally us doing like a This Week in Bullshit kind of thing, where we're making fun of all the stupid idiots of the week and all the dumb news of the week while I was making sandwiches for my husband. And we actually had it called Sandwich Wench Rants.
Oh, God.
It was fun. I need to find a new co-host to start that back up. It was a great show. And now people figure out how fucked up I really am, right?
Yes.
The whole Sandwich Wench thing is my husband's fault. I'm on a stream one evening. He'd been at work. I didn't even know he'd come home until he walks into the room while I'm on stream, has a tray laid out with a whole bunch of sandwich makings, holds it under the stream camera, and then goes, "I'm hungry without you."
Wow, that's fucked up. You should tell that bastard to shut his pie hole.
And ever since then, every stream, there's been all the Sandwich Wench stuff, and it's never died, and it's been over 3 years.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I blame my husband for that all the time.
I blame men too, because men are pigs.
Yes, they are, and they give us the sausage.
That's right. And you like that sausage, you naughty woman. Kielbasa. Basa.
Just stick it in your mouth. I mean,
stick it in your mouth. Like a death metal song. I can't fucking draw. Oh my god. Oh god.
This is where we see how long Rich could go doing this stuff before he just completely melts down.
I am completely melting down. I have maybe another. Oh god. I really. Oh man, I'm so exhausted.
Pretty
honey. What is
sparkly
that shit?
dragon.
Yay! I don't care. I mean, it looks great. It looks like
Hey, it's not
Christie
just
Shinn.
drawings, comic, and art stuff.
It looks
I do
like
art.
Christie Shinn. Christie Shinn is lovely. I yell at the TV, and my mom and sister think I'm a monster. I don't blame you, Carol, because they're ugly, ugly movies, and all of them are just ugly people who are just ugh. I hate them. I hate all those perfect humans for all that stupid. What the hell was I going to say?
Fuck if I could remember which one it was. I actually found one of those corny ass Christmas movies like that a few years ago. That was actually fucking Clark Gregg going through the reservation where my family's from. I was like, holy crap, this is funny as hell. And him getting shocked at things like the rats in the hotel room and stuff. It's like, yeah, that's about accurate. Not even gonna fucking lie, that's about accurate.
It's not accurate.
Oh, trust me, it is. He was down in Oglala after going through the edge of the Pine Root Dres in that movie, actually. So it's literally my family and where I grew up. It's fucking funny as hell to me that they actually based it right where I grew up in the fucking res area. I gotta find that one again just because of that.
Oh boy. Oh.
And then there's a new show recently that me and my husband got into, which was what was the name again here? Fuck if I could. Cut Above, which was literally it was a contest show, but it was actually them competing as speed chainsaw artists on wood cuttings.
Oh God! You tell me you watched that drivel? Oh
I like anything about actual art, including competitions.
Oh
I don't
my
like most reality shows, but art
God.
shows I fucking love.
But
Just like
they just cut down trees and all those poor little Navi, because all those Earth people are trying to get their unobtainium, and they kill the blue people. And why? Why? I want to be a new person.
And the main person hosting it is Native Americans. So
ha.
That makes it even funnier when the people sit there and read about what about Mother Nature? What about the natives? It's like, yeah, it's a native hosting it. I love that. I love that.
God, I am. Oh boy.
No, I
had a
like
long ass day today.
I love Forged in Fire. I mean,
okay, Forged in Fire. What's that?
It's a blacksmithing show about making swords, weapons, and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Atrocity. What's up? Dicks, airplanes, sky, clouds.
Not now. My dick's not up right now.
Nobody said a word about your dick. Nobody wants to know.
Oh yeah, don't be surprised if that's the opposite of every single thing you've ever said in your life.
Not even remotely.
I've
called you a penis. That's not the same as carrying.
I have a beautiful penis.
I mean, you've got a face like a penis. Does that count?
I do. Watch this. I just jerked myself off. You know how I did that? I rubbed my head. That's how I did that. I rubbed my head up and down like a fiend.
Oh my God.
Like Batman. Like Batman is a fiend. He's a butt fiend. That's right. I said Batman is a butt fiend.
This is what I sit here and wonder about my life's decisions that led me to this spot.
I know.
But hey.
But
we'll see how far you get on your drawing. In fact, here, one sec here.
Boo cocky video.
I want to see the drawing better, eh?
I don't care what you want to see.
Rich is trying to prove how charming he is today, folks.
I am not charming at all. I'm about as charming as fucking puppy cancer. That's how charming I am.
Wow.
Where's the blade? Where is the blade? Where is the ebony blade? I don't know. I don't even shave yet.
Holy shit.
What?
You are very, very weird.
I am weird. It's good. I like being weird. Weird is fun. It's so much better than normal. What is normal, by the way? I know it sounds...
Normalcy is a facade. That's what it is.
It is a facade, exactly. So I'm going to rave like a kooky person if I choose to. And guess what? I can do that. You know why? Because it's my effing house. Aha! I can say whatever I choose.
Yes, but because it's my stream, I can throw you backstage if you annoy me too much.
Well, maybe I want you to throw me in the back door, you know? Maybe I want
no, backstage, not back door. You ain't touching my back door.
No, I was talking about you touching my back door.
No.
Yes.
You know. Help me, help me, help me.
Yes, help me.
I wonder what would happen to the stream if I started crying. Me too. I mean, oh god, fuck. We're terrible people. That's it.
I'm a terribler person. That's not a word. That's a word that Christie Shinn would use. Terrible. You know why? You know why?
Because you're an arsehole?
No, because she's not smart. It's a good thing she's pretty. Oh, wait, she's not pretty. Oh, no.
Christy, just message me if you're watching and you want me to slap him.
She's going to be like, oh, that's okay. I'll just say an Italian joke, though.
You don't need Italian jokes. They're walking jokes.
I know. I am a walking joke. I am. Love me. Love me like you. Love me like you do. Love me like you do.
Nobody
like nobody loves me at all. That's very true. No one loves me. And I like it that way. I don't want anybody to love me.
Well, you're on the right track. I mean...
We all sleep alone.
What the fuck is wrong with me? What the fuck is wrong with me?
No, what is wrong with you?
I don't know. There's a long list of things I know, but there's other things I'm sure are wrong that I don't know yet. Oh, fuck. I am often asked what is wrong with me. I've never asked more relevant questions of what's not wrong with me. Let's see what happens if I turn his mic down.
Oh,
that's much more pleasant. Now you're not deafening my audience anymore.
Well, who's here? Who's your audience?
Well, there was Atrocity and Carol, and I don't know beyond that. They're not talking much, but there's still 6 people, so.
Okay, good. That's good. 6 people. I'm gonna cut out in about 5 or 10 minutes. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning here. I'm actually literally falling asleep when I'm talking to you. I'm trying to get all like crazy and stuff because that's the only thing that's really keeping me awake right now.
That's okay, because I'm here and I can make earrings and bullshit for a while. I'm good at bullshitting. Okay.
Yes, you are. And you have great boobs.
Talk to you. Well, boobs are always a win.
Wow. Boobs are always a win. And you have great, magnificent, round, gravitous boobs.
Okay.
Time slows down. Time slows down.
Is this what I'm supposed to say? I don't know what to say to him.
I'm using time dilation as geometry for your boobageness.
Okay.
Yeah, this is how tired I am, sweetie. I'm just you know what I like smelling? Needed rubber erasers. Have you ever smelled one of these things?
God, I hate the smell of rubber.
I know. That's why you go all natural.
I remember.
Captain Bareback.
Hey, Jamie. I remember working both in a. I did clothing sales for a while, and we'd have to unload these shipments of those fucking Crocs, and they would smell like fucking burning tires when you unloaded them new.
God.
I'm not even kidding.
No, I believe it. I believe it.
And I hated those things so much. I actually got to the point where I reviled the people that bought them just because it kept them on the shelves.
I don't blame
well, that
you.
and their Crocs are ugly as fuck. What idiot buys them?
Well, they buy them because they want to show them off on Facebook. It's like, look at my ass ugly shoes. I know. Croc life. Hashtag Croc life. Hashtag holy shoes, Batman. Hashtag I hate myself and I want to die.
Hey, BK Dan. Yeah, I'm very blunt today. And hi, Vicdu.
Who is that? Vicdu.
And Jay Lee, whoever that is. Oh, I think I know who that is. Hi, guys. So, yeah, I'm just crazy today. I am not even going to deny it. I wanted to have this whole thing set up with the camera hooked up above, angled down at the table so people could see the stuff I'm making more detailed. And I was going to do that. And yeah, I had to take care of stuff. And I was back about 20 minutes before the stream. So,
darling, I am going to go to sleep. So
go to sleep.
Get going. I will.
No. Have a good night.
Have a good night, sweetie. You take care.
Bye. I'm totally going to argue that. Croc lives don't matter. Those shoes are pathetic, as are people wearing them. What? Okay, that one I'm not quite sure I get. I don't know if anybody wants to come up and talk for a little bit before I end the stream. I'm kind of disoriented today, no lie, and wouldn't mind a little extra company. I mean, ta-da. So right now I'm just making dragon earrings, which are pretty stone and dragon. Or the other type is dragon claw. I'll put the link in the chat, actually. Just give me one moment to copy it here. Because I can always screen people, and I will. But there's some people I just don't care, so... Sure, why not? Let's just drop that on. Go ahead and drop me that I am anyways, Jaylee, so I can verify who you are to what I think. Because my brain is a little wonky. To everyone out there to understand, I have barely slept in the last week. So, I've got most of my workspace ready, but I wasn't there yet. So I've got the computer, unfortunately, below me. So it's like double chin. But, oh well. Oh well. Hello.
Damn, my phone's loud.
So I should behave some right now, apparently. Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
Exhausted.
I understand.
Oh, boy.
I understand.
So what do you guys think of the idea of my doing dragon earrings?
Go for it.
Diddy.
Those are good.
I like dragons. I have a bit of a thing for dragons.
Yeah, wear much just weirder stuff. I wouldn't worry about dragon. They look cool.
As long as I'm into dragons and not into them like some scaly freak, then I'm good.
Yeah. So how did your last auction go? Because I didn't get to make it to the show. So.
I haven't gotten to do much in a while. Hey, BK.
How are you? I was tired.
And if anybody's wondering, we dropped this real quick. You guys can have the campaign to my project. It's on Indiegogo.
Yeah, and last time that I was on stream with BK, how much was I bullshitting through everybody's stuff?
A lot.
I was totally wrecking a lot of shit for people.
Oh yeah.
And he was laughing his ass off below me.
Especially when someone said to the gay guy, "You don't know shit about ass."
Not while I'm drinking, please.
No, one of my friends literally said, "You're gay. What do you know about ass?" And everybody on the panel started cracking jokes at him.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. That was good fun. All good fun.
Oh, it was hilarious. It was so freaking hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
So next week I should be set up in the corner with the up cameras angle, so I should actually be able to actually do the dream catchers and stuff on this camera next week.
Okay, you should not go in the corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
I put myself there. It's the only way I can behave.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I'm not good at behaving.
No. I didn't quite get that memo.
I'm just gonna eat a lunch with food.
I'm sure
Oh.
nobody's gotten that memo. I am so sweet and innocent looking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this little shit on Twitter that thinks he's going to insult me by calling me old. I'm like, compared to you, I am incel, child. It's like for crying out loud.
Yeah, really.
That's what these guys do. They come on with their accounts claiming they're like 18 or 19, and I swear they cannot be older than like 14.
Yeah.
And they start calling everyone old, and it's like, and how is this an insult? I'm earning every fucking year I've got, you know?
That's
Oh,
like
me too,
it's like,
trust
what's
me.
your point? You know.
Guess what? I'm going to be 40 this year.
Hey, guess what? You're still 10 years, at least 10 years younger than me. So.
Yay! I know I'm not the youngest one on stream, though.
I might be the oldest. It's gonna be close.
Are you in your 50s?
Yes.
Okay.
No matter what, just like 5.
You probably got me because I'm only at the 1 mark. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a couple years older.
Yeah.
What was that?
No matter what, just be happy in the fact that no matter what, you're gonna look better than Rich.
No, the one that got to me. Okay, my cousin's kid posted this little thing talking about the hardest days of your life are 18 to 23 and dealing with college and stuff. And I commented on it going, "Oh, sweet child, those days were easy." And we all start laughing. And she said, "They're going, what?" It's like,
No. The 18 to 23 was United States Army Gulf War. So yeah, it wasn't college. College ain't nothing.
well, even that age group.
Oh no, I mean,
Don't get me wrong. People have, like, you were actually serving. That's a real thing to deal with and test through. I'm sorry. That age group is not the hardest part of life by any stretch. You guys think that's hard. Wait till you hit it. Oh, God. It was literally days after my 30th birthday when all the PCOS stuff that had been building for years because no doctor would listen to me and all that started hitting. I spent my entire 30th fucking year on bed rest.
I would say the when it really hits you hard, and this is from personal experience, is when you start losing your parents.
Yes.
That's when.
Yeah, I lost my dad last year.
That's when I've buried both my parents, and so your life totally changes when you lose your parents.
Yes.
I mean, it really does. And I mean, you can be 18, 17, whatever, but the moment you lose a parent, your life changes forever.
We lost Dad last year, and literally
I know.
this Easter is the anniversary of his death. Actually,
It's going to be. It's tough. It's tough.
It is.
I lost my dad. Let's see. This is 22 years ago. I lost my dad, and I lost my mother 5 years ago. So
Yep.
you know, like I said, when you lose a parent, everything changes. Because in actuality, and I explain, even though you're 40, 50, whatever, if your parents are still alive, you're still a child. You're their child.
Yep.
But when your parents are gone, you don't have a security blanket anymore.
Right.
It's over. It's now you're on your own.
The buck stops here. Yep.
no, I don't know. For me, I've been the one taking care of everyone, including my parents, for so long.
Yeah, but I'm
I
saying
don't feel like the child, but it does change part of your life. I was always Daddy's little girl. Losing Grandpa and Dad and my uncle and everyone all within a few years of each other has absolutely thrown me through loops. It's
and that's the whole trick. That's the whole thing. You start losing family, you start losing friends. That's when life changes. You know, at 17, 18, 19-year-olds, you're not worried about anything. You know, even when
I wish that was true at that age.
Well, I'm talking about personal experience. You know, I went to the Army because I wanted to, and I wanted to get out of a small town of 5,500 people. And you know, my dad had served, my brothers had served, everybody had served. That was a way out. And in small towns, and you know this, even Native American wise, and I'm part Comanche. Military is a way out. Military is to get out and go see the world, find something new, and get away from the small town thing. Mm-hmm. And that's what we did. Mm-hmm. Mine took me all over Asia, so I got to see Asia, and Asia is beautiful. I recommend everybody, if you get a chance, gotta go see Japan. Japan is beautiful, really beautiful.
See, I can't travel abroad though because of my issues with both flying and inability to take meds and immune issues.
Yeah, but you know what you can do? This is a cheap way out of it. Type in train rides in Japan, and you can actually watch the train go through the countrysides and everything. Mm-hmm. And you can watch the light. I mean, it's really beautiful.
Also, there is a lot of country and beauty and nature to see in this country if you know where to look.
Oh, I have been. I've been all over this country.
I would go to where.
And I mean, I'm in the Black Hills here. I grew up in the mountains, so
I know where the Black Hills are. I've been up there.
This is a beautiful area to live, and grew up around Sturgis bikers. Always makes it more fun. I mean,
no, I've been to Sturgis on the bike thing. So, you know, it's my dad. What we would do is, as a kids, I'm talking about when I was young, my dad would take 2 weeks off, and we would go see the United States. We would drive it. We wouldn't fly. We would drive it all, and we saw every state except for I think North Carolina and the states above New York.
You are
we got to see every state. So I've been able to see every state except for Hawaii. I've tried 5 times to go to Hawaii and it's always failed. Something's always come up.
I had a few years ago, I decided I wanted to go meet some of the people I stream and talk to. I wanted to actually join some of these events they were doing and stuff. And so I started over at where my husband and my house is because I'm split between 2 states in residence. I help take care of Mom here. I live over on the other side of Iowa. You know, it's only almost 900 miles apart between my house and my mom's. I mean, back and forth a lot. It's just loads of fun. I mean, but I had this whole event a few years ago. So I decided I was tired of it because with my medical, I'd never traveled on my own. I've never gotten to do a lot of things. And I decided I was done. I was going to. And I started at our house over in Iowa and I zigzagged through down and over. So I hit Missouri corner through Illinois, Indiana, all this stuff. I mean, hit every state down, looped down through Kentucky, Tennessee, all that down and met them at Florida for one of the events and went down Pensacola Beach, all this shit, did photography, hikes, trails out in the ocean waters and stuff, which I grew up in the West Prairies here. I had never fucking been around oceanic waters except for once in my life. And that was up in Puget Sound near Seattle. It was not tropical waters, right? You know? So, and that I didn't even get to do till I was 30. So So this was this whole thing, and I drove all through there, and then I zigzagged all over the southern states, over and picked up my husband where he was flying in and meeting me for a few days in Vegas. At which point we went in and did some events and met some people over in Cali. That was the wonderful time I got to go over and spend in person with Milestone and Hicks, from, you know, world-class bullshitters and mindless entertainment, sweetheart people, two of my best friends. I swear, I love those people to death, and I still do. And it was great. I got to go down and take photos along different parts of Route 66, all this shit, do the out on the pier at the end of the route out stuff, all that stuff. And then took my husband back to fly back, because the reason he met up with me for part of it was A, I had no intention of driving around California traffic, and B, it was bad enough I drove through fucking Dallas traffic. God.
I
I had no intention of it.
I live in the Dallas area, so I understand.
Yeah, that interchange where all the interstates meet.
Yeah, which
is
one?
evil.
The cloverleaf.
Well, it wasn't even just the cloverleaf. It's all these different interstates meeting for miles and miles. It's like
this is not cloverleaf. It's called Mixmaster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's insane. And you have to go in one road, and it'll take you in a tunnel under all the others with no other lanes to escape onto, and then you end up on a bridge going over another tunnel, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
You're in downtown Dallas. I know exactly.
I had to do that to get from one place to the other. I was going
it's where 114, 183, 30, 35, and 45 all meet.
I'm driving that, and I'm blaring heavy metal and sitting there driving by other cars going, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." The whole time. I was like, no, fuck this. I have crowd issues. I have anxiety issues. I have issues with people. I was ready to kill at that point, but I did it. I did it on my own. But we had to go in because at that point he was dealing with his grandmother's 50th wedding anniversary. She wanted us both there. That was the whole reason that I decided I was willing to go into California in the first place. So he flew in for that. He did that event and then flew back out from Vegas. And then I zigzagged through all the way from there, all the way back home, going through all these states and stuff. And never fucking again, what was it? The Eisenhower Tunnel up in fucking Colorado. Never fucking again. I am not going in a tunnel that high in avalanche country with no way out if you get pinned in with that much traffic in a confined area for miles where you can smell all the fucking exhaust fumes. So fuck you. No, never again.
I would never go to Colorado in general.
The mountains are pretty.
Yeah, but I stay away from Colorado in January.
Well, that was in March, but
in March, that's better. No, I mean, I think the first time I saw was probably in the 80s. I got to go. We did California, and then we did Florida. But that was actually 70s. So that was the first time I got to see that. But I remember first time I left the country. That was interesting.
I remember when I was 3, the first time we went over to Yellowstone, because I decided, and this was not long after I went through all the seizure and stuff, this was my early memories, and I decided going through Yellowstone and watching the geysers and the boiling mud and the bison chasing people and all this stuff, I'm watching all this muddy chaos. And I decided in the middle of that I was going to grow up and be a ranger because I was going to work with the boiling mud and bison. I was such a dainty little girl, I swear.
My cousin's husband is a ranger.
I actually studied it my entire childhood. It was when I was 17 I found out my health prevented it.
But yeah, my cousin's husband is a ranger. So
yeah.
But he's
there's a lot of them in my family and my community. Yeah. I couldn't medically. So then I worked as a carpenter for a while. And then medically I couldn't do that anymore because rebuilding stuff was causing damage to my lungs and nerves because of my issues. So, I can't keep being a carpenter. Well, I liked being a carpenter. I loved working on demolition crew and shit like that. So, So I ended up going into being an artist, which led me into doing photography, which led me into I'm out now helping track down poachers and catalog and track and take care of eagles and trumpeters and stuff and working with DNR and the Rangers now. But as a volunteer where I have control over my medical and my hours.
Right.
It's a circle of life.
And so I'm getting to combine all my art that I love with the job I've dreamed of my whole childhood and have more control over my hours and my what I do. It's actually kind of a really good career now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
more hats off to you. I mean, especially if you have a job that you're happy at doing, so enjoy it. Hey,
Yeah,
Kitty.
I'm all right, Kitty.
I love you, girly. She's been my
Yeah.
friend a long time. Actually, years ago. She face revealed on my channel even years ago.
Yeah, but no, like last night, I was, no, night before last, I was over on Mandy's channel. And horror, when we talk horror and everything like that, because I know you like horror. And we were talking about
Well, I
that.
like mocking horror.
Well, mine's
Weird
classic
thing.
horror. The stuff I do is classic horror. Vampires, werewolves, and
Well, I like the mythology it's based on. Most of the movies I find kind of silly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'll put it like this. Now, I'll explain. I am, of course, you know who the actor Christopher Lee is.
Oh, God, fuck yes.
He was my cousin. So,
Okay, that explains a lot.
yeah, so you can understand why I got into horror and everything.
Yeah.
So when I started writing on my books and everything, I wanted to do something for my grandmother. Now, my grandmother was 100% Comanche Indian. She was this beautiful raven-haired woman. And my mother was extremely beautiful. But my mother was half because my grandfather, my mother's dad, was white. And my mother was just a gorgeous, petite, raven-haired woman. So I wanted to do something for them in the book. I wanted to do something. So what I did was, and this is an interesting thing I did in the book. There's a couple of things I did in this horror story that's never been done in a horror story. First off, I put the story where you have a running love story down the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? A romantic love story, a classic romantic love story. The other thing I did was my main character is mixed race. She's not Native American. She's Egyptian and white. The reason I did it was because it helped with the story. I didn't do it on purpose. I did it on purpose because it helped move the story along. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't
So,
forced.
hello, Kermit. There's a little notice in back for you. But welcome to the stream, and I hope you're doing very well.
Hello. How are you all?
We're doing okay. We're a little more focused today since it's more the art panel here. So that's why I gave you a little note backstage on how
I
we're
can't read
talking.
the note for the minute.
Okay, the biggest thing is just be a little more careful of cues that are changing topics, okay?
I'll do my best.
Thank you. That's all I ask. The only reason I ask is because we've talked enough. We both know we both have trouble with that.
Also, BKers. Camera was being weird.
Let's just go back to the topic. Anyway, James.
So what I did with her, and this is another thing I did. I'm going to give you a wild guess on this. What have you never seen in a horror story, but you have seen multiple times in Greek mythology?
Zeus. I don't
No.
know.
Has to do with mortals, not the gods.
Not sure because I haven't seen enough horrors to really gauge that.
Well, what I did was I put a character in there that is like a demigod, basically Perseus, Hercules, all that. So I have a character like that in the middle of the story. So you get to get that in the story. The other thing I did was I needed a monster. I needed a guy who needed to be who had to do an atonement. I needed a guy that would throw everybody in a whack that they would not be expecting it. So what I did was I created one character in the book, and this is from my grandmother and my mom and everybody, that is Comanche Indian, but he's a monster hunter that is going for atonement.
See, I've been working a long time on a couple different stories that I need to finish at some point. One actually is kind of really deep because since I was a child, I've had these reoccurring dreams of these same three women, always these same three women. It's three different female braves from my tribe in different eras. And I've literally been like living out their lives in my dreams since I was about 3 years old. So I swear there's got to be something to this because there's so much history that I've found and proven was real that I saw in these dreams before I ever heard of it, you know? So I'm absolutely positive there's got to be something to these dreams, but I've been trying to write a book series about them, which is complicated enough, and hopefully write a few comics based on a few of them. But the other one I want to create, I can only give little hints of. Basically, it would be combining a lot of the Lakota tribal stuff and the Earthwalk stuff from the Lakota with skinwalkers that are part Navajo.
Right. Oh yeah, I know about the Navajo. I've actually
And that would be a form of comic characters, obviously, because I would deal a lot with the supernatural.
Well, see, the skinwalkers, which is interesting about the story about the skinwalkers and stuff, you could actually classify those as were creatures.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm
well,
saying?
and see, the thing is that to the Lakota side of it, the creatures that emulate you, the spirit animals, heavily based on the spirit of your body. To combine the Lakota spiritualism with the skinwalker would mean that the animal they would transform into would be their spirit animal.
I'll tell you, an interesting comic book that plays on that is War Party.
Yeah.
Have you read War Party yet?
I don't know if I have, because I kind of lost track of a lot of things for a long time because I'm broke.
The comic book series is based in the 17 or 1600s, and it's skinwalkers, straight up. They're skinwalkers.
This is literally based on combining of two tribes' cultures and these girls trying to balance living between two cultures that really don't agree or share culture, philosophy, and gods between the Lakota and the Navajo. And it's set as these modern girls who basically, as they go through the spirit quests and the awakenings and all that as their teens, awaken the ability to be skinwalkers.
Well, remember this also at the Navajo reservation out in the Four Corners area. Mm-hmm. Not only is it Navajo, but you have Hopi and Anazi out there too.
Yeah, I've been there.
No, I know. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
So that's why I was bringing it up.
And so, yeah, this was whole based on this because the southern tribes here, which the Navajo are one of the most northern of the southern tribes, but they're more of the southern tribe religion, culture, all that. Mm-hmm. The Lakota are very northern tribe, and our cultures are very diametric to each other. And so what I wanted to show is the unity between natives and find a way to bridge the gap between them if you have ties to your family in both.
Yeah, that would work. But I think in the past, there wasn't very much unity. They all tried to beat each other up.
No, this would be a modern people trying to...
I mean, there was unity with the Sioux as a whole, but I'm talking about, we take Apache, Comanche, Crow, Cherokee. I mean, none of those guys got along at all.
Let's look at it this way with the whole Sioux issue. I mean, we were very much an honor-based warrior tribe. Hi, Bones, sweetie. So we had kind of a hardcore culture anyways, and we tended to be very hard edge. Yeah. So that always made things a little interesting anyways. And it wasn't that, because this is where I get into where everyone says, well, every group in history is always pillaged and as grape, as you say, if you're trying to not lose monetization.
Yeah, I know.
They always say every group's done that. It's actually, even in the early days of the Sioux, it is absolutely so diametric to the culture that you would be exiled from the tribe if you did it even to your enemy. So it's not every tribe always did that. That doesn't mean we were not warriors or savage or shit. We had our own way,
That doesn't mean individuals of every group in history don't do that.
Every group has good and evil in it.
There's a big difference, and this is where the difference is between like the Comanche and the Lakota. Mm-hmm. The Comanches, if they did a raiding party, okay, they would, and this is how they would do this. They would take the young women because they needed women, and they would butcher the men. They would not kidnap kids. Yeah, it was female only.
And
they were not, when the women got there, when they brought the women in first, they were not very, let's say, pleasing.
Willing?
Receptive?
No, I'm talking about the Comanches to the women. They didn't treat them nice.
See, and the Lakota, for all our issues, and yes, the Sioux, I can go off on some of the issues we've had as a tribe, and I will end with some of those because I'm not going to sit here and sound like I'm just saying we're such a great, perfect honor system. We weren't. No, but we were very much a female-centric tribe in that way, and we was very hardcore on that rule. So if you raided an enemy, first of all, you did not kill the women and children because that was dishonorable. They weren't warriors. Unless they were the braves fighting against you, you did not kill them.
Yeah, that's the same way with the Comanche was.
But
you don't kill the women.
The difference with that was they weren't taking them and forcing them into stuff. They would take prisoners, but the prisoners were not forced into anything. You could either stay with the tribe long enough that we could verify you weren't going to help send other people after us and then be set free, or you could choose to stay with the tribe after that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the women chose to stay. So there's a lot of mixed blood in the Lakota.
Well, there's mixed blood in all the tribes.
Yeah.
Because
the set free part probably varied from person to person.
It was. They actually gave them a choice in the Lakota culture. They gave them a choice after you got through the prisoner stage. If you wanted to stay, you could stay and basically earn your way in the tribe and prove you're accepting the laws in our way, or you could be set free and find yourself to another tribe. That was the choice.
Comanche, that was not.
They didn't.
But there was a point I was actually going to with this here,
right,
which is
that's the difference between tribes. Mm-hmm. That's the difference between tribes. Now,
but there was a point I was getting to. One sec, let me finish. I just try to keep focused. But the whole point I was getting at with this. So yeah, not every tribe in history has been cannibalistic or other stuff. Not every tribe's done this or that. Every tribe has had their own atrocities. Every tribe has been at war at some point, been an aggressor and a victim at some point. But the ways it's done and the way the people did it are not all the same.
At once.
One sec. But the reason I got onto this is actually because the flaw with the Sioux is that we were almost as hardcore of a honor warrior tribe. And take care of BK, by the way. We were almost as hardcore of a warrior tribe as the Klingons were portrayed. Everything for honor. And so if we felt somebody else dishonored our tribe, we were at war with them. We were at war with the Cherokee for 600 years because the Cherokee made peace accords with the renegades who were kicked out of the tribes for sexual assault. Not because the Cherokee did anything to us, but because they made peace with the people we considered subhuman. Therefore, we were at war with them too. I mean, so the Sioux were not docile people. We were very much warriors.
None of the Plains tribes were docile. None of them were.
The Cherokee were actually the most docile. They had a bit of that hippie free love to them.
But I'm saying they were.
Yeah.
Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
What did they exile people for accidental killing of women and children? Because that probably had to have happened in the middle of combat.
The exiles came from sexual assault or intentional harming of them.
Yeah.
So these were very specific, and this was most northern tribes would exile people for that if they didn't execute them. So the renegades that people talk about back in those eras, those were the people that all the tribes had kicked out because they considered them subhuman and unsafe to be around the women. These were not good people. No. And so the Sioux took it very offensive anytime anyone made peace with the renegades. And so there was a 600-year war. But here's the thing. With the Lakota, the tribe, we've done the tracking genealogy. The Cheyenne, Sheridan, and Sioux were all the original same tribe together. They split in the old days. Once they'd split, then the Sioux split into several groups, and one of them went to travel the continent and report back to the tribe what they found hundreds of years later. Travel every inch of the land in every direction you can go.
That must have been
slowly.
Fascinating report.
It was about 700 years they said they were in this migration, and there's a lot of artifacts from it. And there's Sioux artifacts mixed in with a bunch of the other tribes all over the continent too, both way down in South America edge up into the Canada edge, everything. So this was a migration they did together as a tribe for hundreds of years. When we got back, the tribe that we had split from changed their name, changed their culture, and refused to allow us to come back. So I said, well, we are the same people. Let's find common ground here and work together. We are your lost brothers. Let us prove it. Both sides started attacking each other, and that's where the whole theory of the Sioux coming into the land and wiping out the tribe that was here before them in the Black Hills area came from. This was our homeland, but when we came back, we weren't welcome back, so we went to war with ourselves, basically.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
That
Comanche,
probably wasn't uncommon.
well, I mean, it's just like with the Comanche. When the Comanche would take in, and you have to understand something. The Comanche took the women because they knew that they had to build up their people, and it's better to have new blood come into the tribe, so it'd be stronger.
Mhm.
This is like take Ann Parker. Okay,
Mhm.
Ann Parker is probably the most well-known white woman ever to be with Native Americans. Her son, Quanah Parker. Okay, she got so when she was taken, she ended up marrying a chief. When they supposedly rescued her, she actually escaped and went back.
That wasn't actually, by the way, uncommon with a lot of the women that running back to a lot of these Plains tribes because they liked the culture once they became a part of it.
Yeah, because the culture of the Comanche is protect the women. That was the culture.
Mhm.
It's protect the women, respect the women. And then you have Quanah come up. And this is where, they always talk about purity of blood. Quanah Parker was a half-breed. He's kind of like my mother was. But Quanah Parker is one of the greatest Comanche chiefs that's ever existed. He's the last main chief that the Comanche had, where they had all the Comanche tribes together. And then after he went in, and they say it's a reservation. It was never a reservation. The Comanches have never had a reservation. They've had land in an area of Oklahoma near Lawton, but it's not classified as a reservation because it was Fort Sill was there, and that's what they were supposed to report.
By the way, I will just put it this way: fuck that fucking movie, Bone. And it's nothing you said that's offensive. It's that movie and the shit that they pulled that was. Well, besides
was it?
Look in the chat. Besides the fact that Kevin Costner was a racist piece of shit the entire time they filmed it, they never paid a single Native actor for their work in it. And then there's the fact that one of the Native actors is the one that just got busted basically trafficking his own women and selling them.
Yeah.
And that, by the way, is my tribe where he fucking did that.
Yeah.
So, fuck that movie.
If you want to see a movie where a guy gets pulled into the Man Called Horse, it would probably be the better movie. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen it, Eagle?
Oh, that movie.
It's been a while, yeah.
But what I'm getting at is Quanah Parker was brilliant after he went in because he used the system itself to help the Comanche people. And he helped to raise money, everything he could. I mean, he did really good after he went in. But the Comanches were the last tribe to come in with the military. And even today, most Comanche men will go into the army. It's just one thing that we, as Comanches, warrior-based tribe, we're going to go fight.
And that's also the reason why the Comanche and Sioux never got along, as they were two of the hardest warriors. Well, it's because A, our cultures did not agree with each other on everything.
Right.
And B, we were both extremely warrior tribes. We were not agrarian. We were not seafarers. We were not all these other types of tribes. We were the warrior tribes of the...
We were the cavalry units of the Native Americans. The Comanche and the Sioux were the best on horseback.
And before horses were here, we were the best at war before that.
Yeah. So, it's one of those things. But,
And that's why I love, we talk about, everyone always bitches about the Native stuff. Well, first of all, most Natives don't give two shits about Native symbolism used in tribes and mascots and stuff. In fact, most of us like it. We find it fun.
That's the
but
the
one that I was going to get into was this one. You want to talk about racist white people deciding for Indians what's best for them. You had a team in North Dakota that was on the tip edge of one of the reservations that meet South Dakota and North Dakota together, right? This sports team, the school was actually part on Native grounds and part on the state grounds.
It's all split land.
Yes. So the school itself is under two different government systems.
Right.
And this school had over 95% of its student population was Lakota,
right,
of one of the tribes. And the federal government forced them against their wishes to take out the Fighting Sioux as their team mascot in order to get the funding that they are legally owed.
So that's a crock of shit.
You want to talk about racistly controlling minorities.
See, and this is the thing.
Eagles. a school on two different government properties talk about red tape.
Well, I mean, the red tape for the redskin. I mean,
No, but
Think about all
Sorry.
the bureaucracy that they have to go through.
no, I know. The whole tribal to state land bureaucracy is bullshit.
What
Anyways.
upset me so much is,
Mhm.
and I want to bring this up, Washington, D.C. Redskins, okay?
Mhm.
When that football team was founded, the ownership went to Native Americans and asked them if they could do it, the design and everything.
It was based off of their coach being native.
By the Native Americans they talked to. They were happy for the representation. Why? Because it got them noticed. People would go, well, let's go. I want to know more about these, Native Americans and stuff like that. Now what you have, and this is what I call it, it is the systematic elimination of any representation or reference to Native Americans because of the liberals cannot control the Native Americans, and it's out of sight, out of mind. They don't matter.
Well, look at the Land O'Lakes issue. They kept the land and got rid of the Indian.
Yeah, it was like what the. But what I'm saying is they have done they're doing a systematic elimination of anything.
Well, why are they going after Aunt Jemima and Famous Amos and Uncle Ben, which the fucking mascots were based on the people who created the companies?
Yes. Nobody. See, that's the thing. I asked a guy, do you actually know who Aunt Jemima was? She's a fictitious. No, she was a real person. She's like one of the first female black millionaires that ever lived in the United States.
And she was the founder of the company. Pocahontas is, Elizabeth Warren isn't. Anyways.
That's not what I meant, and you know it.
I know, but I had to take my cheap shot where I had a chance.
Fair enough.
I hate that fucking bitch.
Oh, man. That woman.
I was going to say, it's probably worse on the school in between two grounds for bureaucracy. Just because it's a school and bureaucracy.
Yeah.
They don't always mix.
The school had enough crap to deal with. They were already impoverished. They were already dealing with all the different government regulations. They're already having to deal with reporting to two different governments. They did not need more of that kind of bullshit. The team was finding unity. They'd actually found a way where the white students were getting along with the natives. And for fuck's sakes, leave it the fuck alone.
Exactly. If it's working, leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? If it's working, leave it alone.
If it ain't broken, don't fix it.
We're talking about this stuff. We're talking about this stuff in my head, and I'm hearing in my head one of the rants from Williams and Ree, where they're talking about when Pontiac got rid of Chief Pontiac, and literally Ree, the guy who, by the way, this is a comedy team that's from South Dakota. Here, Ree is from my tribe, and when he talks about get out your Pontiac and ride, and he goes, I'll have you know, you fair-skinned, blue-eyed, walking dry look. My people no longer buy, steal, nor lease Pontiac cars. And it's like...
Did he say buy, steal, or lease?
Well, they don't even make Pontiacs
That's what
anymore.
she said.
So it doesn't matter.
When some white yuppie executives decided, we don't need that cheap guy up there anymore.
Yeah.
That was it. This is a bunch of white people telling minorities what should offend them.
Well, it's just like,
Yeah.
have you seen the new one where they said anybody that speaks Spanish now is racist because they don't use the word Latinx. Hispanics they don't play politics. They like and so yeah, the whole everybody just got called that. Anybody that speaks
And everybody I know that's Spanish, and I have some Spanish blood in me. I have some Mexican blood. I can go into that whole thing later. Everybody I know who's Spanish has the same viewpoint of that.
It's stupid.
They don't care if the few people in the Spanish population who are trans and don't connect to either gender use that as a way to differentiate from the he, her. They don't care, but don't fucking try to make anyone else use it.
Yeah, that's how this shit, it's like that. It's like
That's their viewpoint. They don't oppose people. If you don't feel connected to either gender, call yourself whatever you want. Just don't try to make us do it with you.
yeah. I mean, it's First Amendment right. You can say whatever you want to about yourself, but don't try to force people to kiss your ass because it upsets you because they won't recognize your quote unquote pronoun BS. You know, it's like you come into my area while we're talking, and then you try to force what you're like. Say you and I are having a conversation, and one of these people come up. Well, you need to stop doing that and call me this. I'm like, you walked into our conversation. You follow what we're talking about. If you don't like it, you can leave. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It's just the point that when you have somebody try to forcibly do things to a society that has, and this is something I always push, especially right now with women. For 110 years, biological women have fought for their rights for everything. Okay, they didn't get it after the Civil War was done. Lincoln didn't give it to them. They had to wait till the 1900s to get it.
Well, I try to explain to people all the time that what they claim in Google and in the federal government is false. Natives did not get our rights with the Emancipation Proclamation.
No,
it was
of course
expressly
not.
written to sound like it gave us our rights, but exempt us.
Yeah, there was no rights.
huh. I did not know that.
Not only that, the Emancipation Proclamation they put in, if you read it correctly, slaves in Delaware were not freed.
Why?
Because it was in Delaware. Look where it says, in the South. Delaware's in the North.
Mm-hmm.
When
Okay?
were slaves freed in Delaware?
It wasn't until much later.
Here's the other thing. And
Until they
don't get me
made-
wrong. The Emancipation Proclamation was supposed to free everybody of certain races, but it didn't. A lot of people didn't obey it. And no, a lot of slaves were not freed until the 1900s. That is actually true.
Wasn't that highly illegal in some places?
It was illegal then, but it didn't mean people weren't
Nobody-
still doing it.
Okay, there's a thing called it's illegal, but people don't enforce the law. Just like right now in California, it's illegal to shoplift. Guess what? They're not enforcing the law. That's why Walmart has said we're pulling out. That's why Walmart's pulling out.
Look at the issue we're having right now with human trafficking through the roof and what they call the white slavery.
Yeah.
It's absolutely illegal. And it's targeting natives expressly, both for fetishizing and because it's easier to target the reses due to ridiculous Supreme Court rulings that tie our hands on our own land.
It's just like this. And this is what's really bad. And I'm going to take, because I don't know what's going on up with your where you're at. I do know what's going on out with Utah, with the Navajo and stuff. They have 1 to 2 girls a week go missing. Okay, this is something that needs to be addressed. That they're
Damn.
Let me put you this way. Let me put you this way, Kermit. The South America coming through the unguarded border to come up here and kidnap Native women is so epidemic that Native girls are being kidnapped, trafficked, and sexually assaulted at a rate almost now 20 times higher than any other group in the country. And it's over 95% people from other countries doing it.
How do they get them out of the country? Did they get them
Yeah,
out?
there's nobody at the
Yes.
border. That's the whole point. There's nobody at the border.
They're taking our
The
girls.
Biden administration will not do anything about this. They don't they don't care. They do not care. They don't.
Neither. Let's be perfectly clear. Trump didn't either. He didn't give a shit about that.
Understand?
The only thing he did that played any part of that was literally signing something where it was a footnote to add one security to a couple of the tribes, and he did that because it was a footnote to something else he wanted.
Yes, I agree with that.
Did he know about this?
Oh, come on.
Yes, this has been known to the government for a long time. Actually,
I'm sorry.
this has been going on since the 70s.
I'm sorry that I'm getting you guys so inflamed.
No, it's not that.
No,
it's just-
you're
there's
not.
a lot
It's
of
the situation is something that I've lost family to this.
Oh shit.
You have to understand something. I'm in the South. I'm in Texas. Okay, and I have relatives in Oklahoma. I have relatives in Mexico. This is why, and you'll find out that we don't talk about this, but everybody's armed. Okay, everybody's armed. No, you understand? We don't talk about it because why? Because if you start talking about it on YouTube, you start talking about it on Twitter like that, it lets the federal government know what you've got. Okay? It lets people know what you got. If you don't talk about it and you have it, nobody knows. So when they break into a house, and believe me, New Mexico, cousin's
Are you
house.
talking about the Second Amendment?
Okay, if you want to know the Second Amendment,
No, is that what you were referring to?
That's what I'm talking about. But here's the thing about the Second Amendment. It doesn't say firearms. Okay? It says equal to fight with the government, which means I can legally, by law, request for any type of materials I need to for war to protect my family under the law. That means if I need a tank or I need an aircraft or something, I can theoretically, legally request it, and it has to be given to me.
That's what it's supposed to do.
That's what
So,
the law. That's what the amendment's supposed to.
let's explain this here.
It took me a minute to realize that you were saying. That's what
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason this is so important.
Trying to say without.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to explain this real simple. This is why I know so much about the Declaration of Independence Constitution. If you notice, my last name is Lee. Okay?
Mhm.
Yes, I am the cousin of Christopher Lee, but I also am the direct descendant of Edmund Jennings Lee, who is Robert E. Lee's uncle. But he is also the nephew of Richard Henry Lee and Francis Lightfoot Lee. Who are these two men? These two men are the ones who founded the United States. If you want the truth, go look up the Lee Proclamation. I think it was that or declaration that was written on July 2nd, 1776. That is the actual document that forms the United States. The Declaration of Independence is the letter that was sent to the King of England. Not only that, the painting that you see that says, "Oh, is this July 4th?" That's actually July 2nd, because on July 4th, half the delegations had already left. Now,
and some of them didn't sign till further into it than that.
they didn't send a letter until September. It wasn't sent to the King of England until September. Now, after the Revolutionary War, Richard Henry Lee, Francis Lightfoot Lee, and Henry Lee III, all three were part of the Continental Congress that wrote the Constitution and approved it, including the first 10 amendments. That's how come I know so much about that document. There are certain things in that document that nobody talks about. Because why? If the people of the Commonwealth knew about it, the government couldn't do half the stuff they could do. Because the government has overreached so much after the Civil War. Before the Civil War took place, the states had the majority of control over what was going on in the country. The minute the Civil War happened, that changed.
And you got to realize, I agree that we had to stop slavery, but I do not agree with how Lincoln did things.
Slavery was dying before Lincoln did the Emancipation Proclamation. He had to do the Emancipation in that speech at Gettysburg to rally people because he was getting his butt whipped.
And by the way, if you actually look up the history on Lincoln, half of the shit that he said in the Gettysburg Address actually went very much against a lot of the stuff he said in other speeches. BK, explain to me later why you were upset, but it's okay. I understand. We all have things we get impassionate about. The reason that this is something I have to talk about is because I don't believe it's okay that we're playing these games where we're trying to play the races and cultures against each other. We're doing it as a country because of what this is. Now, I have relations to a lot of the leaders who helped found this country and a lot of the early leaders. The interesting part that gets into things is dealing with the early country founding and all that. Now, if you want to deal with those who played a major part in the country, I would assume with the stuff you know about Native issues and stuff like that, James, that you know all about the double agent bands and stuff that worked in the Trail of Tears, right?
Oh, yeah, I know all about that.
What is this?
When it comes to Native American connections and stuff,
okay,
I am very pissed about what.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand all that.
The thing, Kermit, with this was that a bunch of natives joined the U.S. military during the Trail of Tears, specifically to work on the Trail of Tears to run basically an underground railroad and rescue women and children off it. The guy that led them and started this, and they joined the military with, Standing Soldier, was the father of Andrew Standing Soldier, who's the well-known native painter. That was my dad's great uncle. I am related directly to Chief Crazy Horse also. I am also the survivor line of Wounded Knee.
And the thing about it is, and I've always said this, and we can talk about, because yes,
I'm guessing they didn't treat the women very well, or did they? Or did they
the
not?
soldiers didn't.
The soldiers didn't. The ones running the rescues did. They were smuggling them off of the trail and taking them to different tribes to take them in and hide them.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, you can understand something.
Okay.
And
Went
you
to
can look,
bad places.
you can look at the cavalry units, the Buffalo Soldiers. You can look at the 7th Cavalry with Custer. They did not care. Okay, even during the Civil War, if you want to go back and look at the Civil War, look what Sherman did. Right today, if Sherman did what he did during the Civil War today, he would have been tried as a war criminal.
And should have.
He should, yeah, back then he should have. I
The
mean,
things that were done to the natives are absolutely abhorrent, and they are.
the way I put it is this.
Issues have never come up in presidential debates.
Why should it?
They
Because
don't give a shit about us. Look, here's the issues. You have one side of the aisle, which is the liberals. A, even if they claim to care about natives, they don't. B, even if they did, in order to help us, they would have to admit that their social programs do not work and are killing us. They'd have to admit that their open border is killing us. They would have to admit that they are the reason we are dying in such great numbers. They are never going to do that. So they are going to fight with everything they have against actually revealing what's really going on. Then you have on the other side, they are so determined to say that there's no such thing as a racist law, that there's no such issues of racism in this country still, that they will never tell the truth about what's really happening to the reservations, because it goes in the face of them claiming that this country has let go of all its past mistakes.
not only that, okay, the reason they don't bring up Native American situations and everything is real simple, and I'll explain it. The Native Americans are not a cohesive group. Okay, they're a fractured group. Okay, each has their different policies and everything like that. The other thing is, we are so few. We are the minority of the minority of the minority.
We are the smallest minority in the world. We are about 1% of total global population. That includes South American tribes.
Well,
We are in the U.S. We are less than 2%.
and not only that, but
Well,
when they always go for when they always talk about minorities, diversities, and stuff like that, the liberals will only use the ones they control.
And they will only use ones that they can use to push their political agenda. Natives are by and large very pro-life, pro-gun, and pro-military.
is that why they hate them and want to?
That's one of the reasons that they try to control us. The other issue is, let's be realistic here. The stuff that the left is doing is not about embracing or helping any of these cultures. It's about using them for votes. And so why would they bother trying with a very tiny percent of the population that has very minimal rights when it comes to being involved in the system anyways?
I mean, there's a lot of things that go along. And again, like I said, Native Americans put on their reservations. Native Americans moved off their lands. Why? Because out of sight, out of mind. You understand? If they're out of sight, out of mind, who cares?
You can do whatever the heck you want to them.
Exactly. Okay. And on top of that, again, because of the tribes are all split apart and everything like that, they can't control for the vote. And so they would rather just wipe everything off. That's why there's such a systematic thing of get rid of the red men sports teams, get rid of the red men here, get rid of why? Because if you erase all the presence of a person or people, they go away. And I'll explain, and I'll give you an example. Again, Richard Henry Lee, before the Civil War, everybody knew who he was. After the Civil War, they erased him. Because I guarantee you, until I said his name today, you never heard of him.
No, I didn't.
Okay? But he's the actual founding father of this country.
Okay, if you say
He's
so.
also he's actually the first president of this country also. Because he was the president of the United States over the Continental Congress when they did the vote. That was his official title.
If you say so.
I'm serious.
I'm
Because he was the one that gave George Washington the power to control the army.
I'm not saying you're lying. It's how I'm agreeing with you when I don't know. And
It's just how Kermit talks. He kind of has a little of the speech issues that I have, a little more so, and we've dealt with each other a lot.
Yeah, so I understand, but I'm just saying that's what I mean by erasing people from history.
Do you have are you on social media? Are you on any of the sites?
For me,
any of the websites?
I'm on Twitter.
Is that it?
Well, I'm also on Mind, and I'm also on that's basically it, and I'm on Truth.
I got you, BK.
Just wondering, because I think you guys would make fascinating videos.
Well, this is the first time I really have gone off about the Native American situation. Usually I talk about my novels and horror. And
and I don't know if we've actually really gotten to stream together before. I know we've talked a lot on Twitter. It took me a moment to realize who you were.
This is our first time we've actually talked with each other. We've talked on Twitter a lot, and stuff like that. It's just, for me, my experience native-wise is a lot different than Eagles. Mm-hmm. It's a big difference because I did not grow up on a reservation. I grew up in a small town.
To be completely fair, I didn't technically grow up on the res, but I was right outside it a few miles, and I was dealing with the whole res culture. So,
but like I said, there's a big difference. Mm-hmm. My dad was a ex-military Baptist minister. My mother was this. My mother was this beautiful raven-haired woman. It wasn't. We didn't get. I got more information about my dad's side of the family, and you always do. It's nothing. That's what usually happens. Is you learn a lot more about your dad's side of the family than you do about your mom's side of the family. And when it came to my mom's side of the family, I learned more about her father's side of the family than I did my grandmother's side of the family. So my upbringing was not the same as everybody else's. It's one of those things. It wasn't until I was like 12 or 13 that I started, I'd meet my cousins who were Native American all the time, but I never went and visited them there. They would always come visit us. So it was one of those things. So it wasn't until I was like 12, 13 that I started, really looking into it, because yes, I'm very light skinned and I have brown hair, but if my two brothers are much darker skinned than I am, and they have black hair because they take after my mother. So, it's one of those things. And even in the military, when you go in the military, it's one thing or another, and you're just a soldier, you wear green, that's it. You don't worry about your race, you don't worry about your sex, you just do your job. That's
well, they do now, the latter.
Well, the thing that I've seen, though, is that most natives actually don't. It's only a few of them in the urban that have really loud voices.
The army.
Well,
they worry about the sex now.
Let me finish, please, here, and we can get into that. I know. I was gonna say that's the interesting thing I see all the time, though, is all this stuff, all these things about being offended for native culture, and it's almost never actual natives saying it. It's a bunch of white people tokenizing.
Exactly, that's what it is. Nobody wants to go talk to us. Nobody wants to go talk. Nobody wants to go. The only person I know of that actually gets really into it is a chief of the Cherokee Nation up in Oklahoma, and he is very active. So I've talked with him a couple of times. Real nice guy, but he's very active. He's actually the congressional liaison for the Cherokee to the government. So he's got some pull, and he's a really nice guy. But again, I'm Comanche, and Comanche. We have our records hall and everything up at Lawton, Oklahoma, but it's not reservation. It's Fort Seal. It's one of those things. It's still to this day. The only thing this is the one thing that always pisses me off, and I hear this from every person in freaking Congress. I hear it in every person on the internet. We need universal haircut. We need universal haircut.
No, God, no.
Let me finish, Eagle.
Grab me.
If you want universal health care, go to the reservation and ask about it, because since 1880, the United States government has been responsible for the health care of Native Americans. And every July you hear, don't get sick, we're out of money. You don't believe me?
July. Wow, you guys are got way longer than the tribes I'm used to.
But I'm just
March to April. March to April.
Yeah, but man, that's your universal health care. Okay.
Shit, it lasts.
If you want to
the
really,
money
and
lasts 2
also
months?
the VA is a bunch of garbage too.
Let me explain it this way. This will actually help with what you're trying to explain, James. Dealing with my tribe, because Pine Ridge is the poorest res in the country. So I'm dealing with the high poverty end of this culture.
Yep.
Dealing with my tribe here, you have tribal veterans will hike 100 miles through the desert to get to a VA hospital to avoid the IHS hospital in their town.
But the money only lasts 2 months.
Only lasts a few months, yes. The other issue is
That needs to be investigated.
one sec. No. 1 sec. The other thing is, you've heard me talk about being damaged by tainted shots and treated like a medical experiment and being abused by doctors and stuff, and my nightmares from that as a kid. Right, Kermit?
Yeah.
That was IHS. IHS has over 5 times higher rate of people having allergic reactions, tainted reactions, or poison reactions from their shots and meds than any other hospitals in the country.
So they're giving inferior meds or buying
Yeah, of course.
And medically experimenting on them and lying to them about what they're giving them.
And before you said this needs to be investigating, they've known this been going on since the 1880s. We're talking 140 years.
Sorry, I'm just in that mindset.
Let me put you this way. They actually did try to do an investigation on IHS and find out what was going on in some of these reservations during the last years of Bush. And their response to it on the reservations was to mass destroy all our medical records. I have no medical records before my marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I know everything I went through. I know what was my illegal doesn't mean prove it. Prove it was done. It's a broke place with no money and no resources. Something happened to the warehouse. That's what they claim. And it's all gone. All of it.
If the warehouse burned, if all the records disappear, isn't that a problem?
You're dealing with a government that will manufacture their own problems. Okay?
I'm sorry, I'm just...
No, I understand. This is what a lot of people don't understand. Okay? We have to do stuff to keep people in line. We have to do stuff to keep people voting for us. We have to do it for the bare minimum. It's just like you always hear this, and this is the one that always gets me too, because I went and looked at this. Today, Biden was talking about how the Republicans, megas, are blocking the IRS new agents to go after the mega rich. But what you didn't hear was they have passed a new bill that if somebody makes over $600 on Twitter, on internet sales, they must file a separate D2009 form, or automatically be audited by the IRS. That was supposed to go into effect this year, but because it got leaked and everybody found out about it, everybody started raising hell about it, because these 8,200 agents that Biden was saying was going to go after mega rich, they're not going to go after the mega rich, because
they're going to go after people getting gifts from their grandmother on PayPal and shit like that.
So they're not going to go after the mega rich because they have attorneys that'll fight them in court. They're going to go after you, me, everybody else that only made that $600, because why? We can't afford attorneys to fight them, and we'll pay the fine and be done with it.
Let's go back a few years. It used to be that you could receive any gift untaxed until it was over $10,000.
Yeah.
So years ago, my husband's grandmother gave us an anniversary gift of $10,000.
Holy shit! She was loaded.
Luckily, she's still around, even though we were told last June we weren't going to have her more than a few more weeks with her cancer. But
dang,
it was not even a question of loaded. This was her trying to do gifts for everybody while she's still around, basically. So she was giving away savings and stuff, all that. Don't get me
That's
wrong. She's got more.
no.
Don't get me wrong. She's got more money than a lot of people, but she's not rich by definition either. But this was an anniversary gift for us. I mean, for freak's sakes, that's a hell of a gift. I mean, let's be honest. But that didn't have to be taxed. It was noted by the banks. It was put into, yes, we received this gift, but there was no tax on it. And that was filed everything correctly. They knew we got it. It was not taxed.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're saying we want taxes on 600 or more online. If you have a mother or a relative sending a few dollars here and there to help you out with bills, they're now going to ask you for taxes on that.
Actually, what it is, as a gift, like say I send you $600 through PayPal as a friend and family, it's not going to qualify. If I do it as a buying, like you do with eBay, where it's classified as a buying through PayPal, that's what they're going to tag you on.
But they're still going to flag the other. You know they are.
Oh, I know
They're going to say, well, yeah, we're not after people getting gifts, but they're going to flag it.
This is what's going on in New York right now because of all these people that are leaving New York. New York's doing automatic audits on anybody to see if they have any back taxes they have to pay before they leave the state.
Oh, I thought New York was busy arresting people and confiscating toy guns that are bright orange.
They're doing that as well.
Oh, I mean, you have to understand.
We're doing that as well.
You have to understand something right now. In New York, and I heard this from several investors, California is number one, New York's number two of states not to do business with. It is so hard to open a business or do anything with a business right now to do anything. In fact, if you're going to move a business, you know what the two top states are to move a business to?
Go ahead.
North Dakota and Texas.
North Dakota is funny, only slightly more open to businesses than South Dakota is, actually.
But
How come there's a North and South Dakota?
I don't know. They should have split it down the fucking Missouri River and had East and West Dakota because we fucking hate each other on the sides of the state.
Why?
You know, there's a couple of reasons why there's a North and South Dakota. It's just like North and South Carolina. Because
Well, let me put it this
why
way.
is that too?
Let me explain this here, first of all. First of all, it was all part of the land agreements and stuff like that and trying to make sense of the treaties and stuff, partly, and trying to figure out how to put everything in the right place. But let's be fucking honest. The reason why the state sides hate each other is in South Dakota here in North Dakota, you have one thing. On the west side, you have the mountains. You have the more gun culture, the more free culture, most of the native culture. You have more of that stuff. On the East River side, as they call it, you have a bunch of flatlander farmers who are racist as fuck to the natives.
Yep, that's pretty much right.
That's a nice way to put it.
No, she's right. She's absolutely right. It's just like Texas. I kid you not. If you look at Texas map, where's most of the population? East Texas.
Let me explain it one other way here real quick with this is I went through, my god kids are very much black, and I've never had an issue in South Dakota here with people being respectful of me out and about with my god kids. Over in Iowa, where I live, is a different issue.
Good luck.
Usually, and the thing is that they always try to claim that Cedar Rapids is like 5% black, but somehow if you go halfway across the city, everything from there to the south edge of town is almost all black community. It's like, I don't know how the hell they're counting that as 5%, but because it literally is about half the city is black neighborhoods.
People are drunk all the time.
No, they're intentionally undercutting minorities, but that's a whole other rant here. Let me finish the other part first.
Sorry,
so I'm on the board of this inner city black church down there, and my god kids are very black, and I usually don't have issues with it in the upper part of town and in around the white neighborhoods and stuff. I don't usually have problems with people saying a word when I'm out and about with my god kids. I go into the inner city and it is constant racist comments to me, being told that I'm too pale to be with black kids, other shit like that. It is barraged at me. I had one guy literally charge up to me and my goddaughter in the store as you chew kids out when they grab stuff and throw fits. You do. She was about 3 years old. She's in that mode. She's grabbing stuff from the shelves. I'm chewing her out. He comes up and starts screaming in my face about how no white woman is going to tell a black kid what to do. This little 3-year-old girl stood up in the cart and got into his face, started screaming that she's my mama and she'll tell me what she wants and you shut up. I had never seen a guy that dark blush that hard. I'm telling you, he ran like hell. But I'm like sitting there going, and as he ran away, I'm like, that's my girl.
That's a good
But
girl.
it was absolutely it. The thing is,
She should
I
have
will
gotten whatever she
take what I get in Cedar Rapids area and in Waterloo, Iowa City area over the crap that I get when I traveled, when I went through fucking Sioux Falls with them. And I literally was taking pictures as these people on all the at all the tables around us in the restaurant were glaring at my goddaughter and whispering slurs and threatening us from the tables next to us. And I took pictures of them glaring at the child and being threatening.
The restaurant
But
should
if
have
you
done something
if you listen,
about
it's all in the
that.
South. That's the funny thing. It's all in the South. Everything's in the South, and it's really not. I mean, the thing about it is, like where I'm at, okay, my neighborhood is probably one of the most diverse neighborhoods you've ever seen in your life. Okay, I'm serious. My neighbors to the right of me are Korean. My neighbors to the left of me are Hispanic. My neighbors across the street of me are Hispanic and white, and and we have a black family here also.
That sounds like describing my family, only add some more.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, everybody's out doing the yards at the same time. We all talk to each other. Everybody gets along. There's no crime in my neighborhood. We take care of ourselves. The thing about it is when we get some people coming in here talking about politics, oh, you need to be doing this. We're like, leave us alone. The thing about it is politics ruins everything. And they want to play, and when it comes to politics, they really want to play the race card. And I always said this, and this is what I tell everybody, even as somebody who runs a business, the only thing legally that you can be held accountable at work, okay, is your attendance, your performance, and your conduct. That's it. Mm-hmm. Okay? It has nothing to do with what you do at home or who you voted for or what church you go to or
and that's none of their damn business. It's a violation of your civil rights for them to ask you it.
So don't bring it up. And if more people would do that, everybody get along. The problem is you have a bunch of people that go in there and they start, this, that, and the other thing, and it's garbage. It's just like what Martin Luther King said. I want people judged on their worth, what they do, how they do their job and stuff. I don't want anybody judged on their skin color or where they came from and what they did, because it's not right. It's not fair. And that's what it needs to be. You cannot sit here and tell me that because of somebody's skin color, they're evil or bad. That's wrong. It's their actions and their only actions that they do that's wrong. And until people get past that, and like I said, in the Army, we were shown one color, green. Everybody wore green, and we were taught you are a member of a team. There is no I in team, but there is an M and an E. Always look at yourself first and make sure you're not the weakest link, because you, just like everybody else, is responsible for keeping everybody alive.
Whereas I always said that just to be sarcastic. Yeah, there's no I in team, but there is. If you flip it around and drop the dead weight, there's me.
Well, it's the same process, but the thing about it is,
except for mine's sarcastic and snarky.
Yeah, you are the weakest link. You're you yourself, and you have to keep pushing harder to be better.
I've never let myself be the weakest link in any group. Maybe that's my obsessive side. And I am obsessive. I am very obsessive. I admit that openly. But that's the thing, is we have to handle ourselves.
Yeah.
I tell people, and my husband tells people, you can't complain about the other side if you're not willing to call out the bad behaviors in your own.
I've always said, I don't mind sitting down with anybody to talk. But the one thing I will not talk about is religion. I will talk about the Bible. I will talk about the Quran. I will talk about anything like that. But I'm not going to specifically talk about religion, because all it does is piss people off. There's a difference when you talk about the books and you have an open mind when you discuss them, compared to if you're dead set on a religion and you're butting heads.
Well, I think that can be, depending on the situation, okay to talk about religion. Where I would say that differs is, are you a person who truly wants to learn about, understand, and know other cultures, other religions, other things, or do you just want control?
Ego.
Or do you just want to argue?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I
it's one of
just
those
sent
things.
a joke in private chat.
Yeah, I can't read it very well. Not from the angle I'm at right now, but I'll look over it in a minute. So
it's basically what a comedian said that I watched last night.
Yeah, I'll look at it closer in a minute when I can lean forward. I'm going through some stuff medically right now, so I'm not moving very
You're
easily.
always going through
Yeah, I
something.
saw it. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But
Well, I mean, yeah, I have a lot of very complicated issues, so there's usually something, winter especially.
yeah,
So, but I fully believe that part of the problem is, and the problem is it's one of those genie bottle issues where you can't just turn it back like it was. It used to be that religion, culture, politics, sociology, all this stuff was talked about at parties, and people could laugh and debate and still get along.
but now
And then the whole culture of don't talk about this stuff, don't talk about this stuff, and you can't talk about this stuff if they don't agree with you stuff, and everybody got quiet. And the thing is that what that created was echo chambers, and now everybody's so into their echo chambers that they get offended if somebody says something that doesn't go along with them.
Well, it's just like, you know, people ask me, well, what about other, you know, this other country? I was like, did you ever go to that country? Well, no. And how do you know? It's what I see on the news. Well, the news is screamed.
You can research. No, see, I think that's I think there's some bias to what you just said, and I'll explain that. You can actually look up the actual documented laws, the cases that are going on and stuff, without listening to the news and just following news.
I'm talking about people who listen to the news only.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
So that's what I'm saying. I agree with you overall, but there are exemptions to that. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, right. There's always exemptions to everything. And
that's what I was gonna say.
You know, it was like I had a preconception when I was young of what Japan was going to be like, what was Korea was going to be like, what was China going to be like, you know, Hong Kong, the whole thing. I had seen movies and stuff like that. When I got over there, I saw a completely different thing. And that was the eye-opening I had was, don't always believe what you see on television. Look, especially now that we have the internet. Remember, this is before the internet. This is we're talking in the 80s, early 90s, before I mean even Windows came out. You know, this is before Windows 95. And
I remember that time.
You know, I mean, there was nothing around, so I got to go travel and actually go see these places, and it was very much an eye opener, especially from a kid who grew up in the middle of West Texas in a small town of 5,500 people. Now I'm in Tokyo. Now I'm in Hong Kong. Now I'm in Seoul, Korea. I went up to the DMZ. I actually saw the real DMZ. Here's a fact that nobody knows: the Korean War is not over. It never was over.
I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you didn't know that, it's a ceasefire. The war
I knew that.
It's not over.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's where I get into with people because as a kid, always was into, I want to research law libraries. I want to go to places where they have documents from other countries. I'm not just taking news and stuff because we didn't have all the internet shit. We didn't have all this stuff making it easy. But I wanted to know the truth. I wanted to know what other cultures, other people were. I didn't want just spoon-fed some stories, you know? And so I would do as much as I could to find these places, to learn about them, to do this stuff. And that's what gets you scoffed at and mocked as a kid when you're that nerd, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean,
and
you know, it's just
I
like
loved it,
D&D,
every moment of it, though.
It's just like the D&D stuff that's going on today. I remember back in the day, it was the outcasts, the nerds that nobody wanted to be around that were the ones that were doing D&D. And then
guilty.
Well, and
James,
let me
it's now Hogwarts Legacy, not D&D.
No, I'm not talking about Hogwarts Legacy. I'm talking about D&D back in the day. I'm talking about back in the 80s.
Oh.
And you have to understand something. Once we started playing the games and everything like that, all of a sudden, a couple of girls who saw the books would look at the books and they decided to play. Now, these girls were not nerds, but thank God they had the money to buy the books. But, you know, this thing about, you know, I saw this post the other day saying, oh, we're girls were always out. Were never allowed in. I was like, what are you talking about?
Oh God, no. We were.
We let the girls in because why? They had the money. They had the books. We were broke.
We had the boobs. The nerd cultures were a bunch of horny boys.
Yeah, but you also had the books.
And I'm going to be clear. I was not somebody who came in after things started. I was one of the ones starting shit with people. I was one of the ones creating it. I didn't have money. I was the nerd, though. I was every day from birth. I was the nerd.
You were the girl that had the money that could buy the books.
No.
What you want? But I'm saying
no. I grew up in abject poverty. The way I got into nerd culture was myself through libraries, long before the girls started coming in.
Yeah. But yeah, girls were coming in, I would say probably 86. When the girls started
and not in a lot of areas till the 90s, let's be honest. But when I got into nerd stuff, I was a few years old. I was doing it because I found this stuff in books. I was enamored with it. I loved it. It was what I loved from childhood. And I was always more with the boys, crash bang pow, and the nerding out than I was with the girls. Always.
What is it, Kermit?
I was gonna say that there's probably always been girls in the nerd culture to some degree.
There's always been a few, but
there has been. But I mean, saying compared to what's going on now in today's, where basically they're telling everybody that was back then that started the stuff, you're not welcome anymore. There's nothing new. I mean, the group that was in that and White Wolf and Vampire and everything like that, they were always outcast. They were
trust me. They're telling the girls that were original nerds were not welcome anymore either because we don't toe the line with all their woke shit.
The people that were around at the beginning are no longer welcome, and we're like, that's fine. We have the books. We'll continue to do what we're doing. We're just not going to give you the money anymore. And the thing about it is when they find out that back when we were in 20s, 19, 18, 19, 20 years old, we didn't have the money. But now that we're 45, 47, 50, 55 years old, we have more money than they can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Ego.
We're the ones, and I mean, I'm going to say this, we're the ones, especially the guys, we're the nice guys that got passed over all these years by the girls that were not the nerds, that were the girls because they wanted the bad boys. Now they're trying to run to us to take care of them.
Actually, I'm going to disagree on one part there. Trust me, the nerd girls, we always put up with a mass amount of shit. Not from the nerds, yeah,
I agree.
But from society. We were ostracized like hell.
I agree 100%. I'll back you up on it. I saw it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what kind of changed a little bit of it when the anime took off in the late 90s. The anime took off in the late 90s. That's when it was, okay, now the sexy girls were getting into it because they could do the cosplay. And that's when it started taking off.
I do remember sexy nerd girls in the 80s. The thing is that we weren't dressing to be sexy. It was how we looked, how we carried ourselves.
Well, see, for me in the 80s, because of my older brother was a lead guitarist for a metal band. So I didn't know what, I mean, I go to his concerts and stuff, and every girl there, mini skirts, hot, all over the place. He was having, and my sister-in-law, I'm not going to make this up. My sister-in-law could pass as Denise Wilmer's little sister. And my brother is one of the ugliest guys you've ever seen. But because he was a heavy metal guitarist and he was in the metal band, he got the girl. I mean, that's just what it was. I was there the night she made a beeline for him. And I was like, oh, brother. And they've been married 27 years. So,
good for them.
Yeah. Now my oldest brother, he's doing almost 40 years. So married. So
good for him.
So, one of those things.
But Eagle, did you read my comment yet?
No, I haven't moved forward. Not now.
It's 8:15 for me, so I'm going to have to take off.
I was going to say, I think I do need to actually end this here. So,
Eagle, it was a pleasure to finally get to meet you, and wonderful. Hope you have a wonderful night. Hopefully, we'll get to be on a stream where we can talk art and horror and everything like that.
Well, I'm pretty open to people when I'm streaming, so just pay attention to it. I don't know why.
Well, I'm on a tight schedule because my day job. I work
Yeah.
between 3:30 and midnight. So when everybody's streaming, I'm at work. It just stays my day off. So basically, when everybody's streaming right now, I was at work, and I work for the largest airport in the United States, and I'm one of their terminal managers. So that means I am busy, especially dealing with the federal government. So,
well, as I said, just pay attention when I'm streaming and let me know if you're around.
I will. Like I said, it was good meeting you. Have a wonderful night.
And to everybody else, take care. I definitely need to end things for reasons. So
You see it?
Not now.
All right. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody, sweetie.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.